Mars the rainbow boa.
Which is being really cute right now.
Yes, he is. And we did want to say thank you to Lindy and Gunnar for the awesome rainbow boa name. We love Mr. Mars.
Yep.
He's a beautiful snake with a beautiful name.
Yep.
And we also wanted to say thank you to the channel Real Wildlife.
Because
His daughter gave you a shout out on the last video.
And they said to check out our channel.
And definitely check out them. They've got some awesome reptiles.
Yes.
It's called Real Wildlife. So what's up guys? Natalie and I are getting back into our coolest prehistoric and extinct reptile series. And today is going to be a cool one. It's going to be cool.
And you guys might think that that's a shark. That's not.
Not a shark. So today, our prehistoric reptile is definitely our most dinosaur-esque reptile we've done.
Yeah.
And he's definitely dinosaur-esque. What does he look like? A dinosaur?
Mm-hmm.
Or a shark? Or a water crocodile?
A shark.
A shark? Today is Kronosaurus. He's even got a very dinosaur-esque name, doesn't he?
What?
Kronosaurus.
Yeah.
Kind of like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Saurus. Tyrannosaurus.
Tyrannosaurus.
Rex.
What?
But are dinosaurs reptiles? What do you think? Are reptiles and dinosaurs different, or are they the same thing? Different?
Yeah.
Yeah? I mean, dinosaur means terrible lizard. So that's pretty dinosaur-esque, right?
Yeah.
But in taxonomy, they deal with classifying and grouping animal species.
Yep.
So those are the people that say this animal goes in this category. Kind of like how they put reptiles in one, birds in one, all different species. Now, a big way they classify reptiles is reptiles are what-blooded?
Cold-blooded.
Cold-blooded.
So if any of your powers go off, that's a problem because
And they're not getting any heat.
yeah, that and they're cold-blooded, and then this more cold is gonna go right to them, and then they make it cold.
Newest studies of dinosaurs say that dinosaurs may have been warm-blooded, like birds. So at one point they thought dinosaurs...
Warm-blooded?
Yes, we are warm-blooded too.
Oh.
But do you remember the episode of Clint's Reptiles where he talked about reptiles, birds, and dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Despite some similarities, dinosaurs and reptiles are in two entirely different categories. Two totally different classifications. So you were right. Dinosaurs technically are not reptiles. And Kronosaurus is not classified as a dinosaur. They are classified as a marine reptile. Marine reptile, you know what that means?
No.
They spend their life in the ocean. They are actually more closely related to today's reptiles than they are dinosaurs.
Are they still round?
No. No, and when we get into the size, it's a good thing they're not.
Bigger than a house?
Pretty darn close. Kronosaurus, meaning lizard of Kronos, which was named after the Greek titan Kronos. So it's saying like, this is his lizard, like a titan. This is the lizard of a titan. Like if titans had pet reptiles. The first ever discovery of Kronosaurus' fossils was in 1899 by Andrew Crombie in Australia. Australia had some pretty serious animals, today and extinct. But how cool of a career is that, to be able to like travel the world and discover like prehistoric or unusual animals?
No.
That'd be an awesome job, to travel the world and go like...
Well, shark, no.
Not sharks. They were a genus of plesiosaur, which is like a short-necked plesiosaur. Plesiosaurs are most recognizable to like what people describe as the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen a picture of the Loch Ness Monster, that's a close look at plesiosaurs. But these are plesiosaurs. See?
Yeah.
That it looks like a dinosaur. But do you see how most of them had this like long neck? That's a cool looking animal. Awesome. Kronosaurus was an incredibly powerful swimmer that roamed the ocean during the early to late Cretaceous. So he ran the ocean. But that's when the ocean was full of scary stuff, like sea monsters. You ready to get into the coolest part about Kronosaurus?
Yeah.
Their appearance. Kronosaurus was actually one of the largest plesiosaurs. He's eating one in that picture. Crazy.
Is that real picture?
No, somebody drew that. That's a good drawing. That's a very good drawing. That looks real, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like a great white shark coming up out of the water. When first discovered, Kronosaurus was actually overestimated. They overestimated them to be about 42 feet long. 42 feet long. That is massive. However, with more skeletal remains found, they put them at a more reasonable 30 to 36 feet, which is still massive.
Yeah, but what do the babies look like?
They don't have any pictures of the babies, but I bet they were huge, even as babies.
They were probably like bigger than door if they were babies.
Oh yeah, probably. And I mean, that's almost as big as like your school bus. Pretty close to your school bus. Could you imagine something
a baby or a
full-grown one? That's huge. That is a huge marine reptile and would have weighed between 10 and 12 tons. I know you probably don't know what tons means, but that's a heavy animal. Heavy animal. They also had a massive head. The skull alone was 7.5 to 9.5 feet long. Just its skull and head. That's, if Daddy laid down on the ground, his head would have been longer than me. Just his head. That's crazy. And you see what he's got in there. His head alone was bigger than me. That's crazy.
Way bigger than your head?
Bigger than my entire body. That bit. That wasn't even the scariest part of Kronosaurus. Within those jaws, they had those teeth. You see those teeth there?
Let me see.
I'll get you a better picture. I think the scariest part is their first 4 teeth in the row were like literal fangs. Look at that. And some of these fangs measured up to a foot long. The fangs alone. That is, his tooth would have been as big as my shoe. That long. Could you imagine a tooth that big sinking into you? That's crazy.
I'll be like...
Oh, we want to make it. Not only that, but scientists believe that the bite force of Kronosaurus would have been twice as powerful as a saltwater crocodile.
Those teeth would be as big.
I know. And have you ever heard a saltwater crocodile like slam its jaws shut? It's a loud noise, and they think his jaws would have been twice as powerful as a saltwater crocodile. That would split you in half. No problem.
So if he like bit you like...
Oh no, their jaws like wham, shut.
What if he did...
There ain't no way you're getting out of them jaws with them teeth. The way Kronosaurus was built skeletally basically made them an absolute beast. A beast. As we had mentioned, Kronosaurus was an incredibly powerful swimmer, with their hind flippers being larger than their front flippers, and the hind flippers being up to 6.5 feet themselves.
So that flipper would be as big as you?
Yep, bigger, taller than me. So that should tell you how much of a monster this thing is.
Is he big as those 2 bottles?
Way bigger. They also had a shorter tail than most plesiosaurs, which would have helped them to glide through the ocean. Bottom line, meeting one of these things in the ocean would be a bad day for you. If one of these things just saw you swimming around in the ocean all by yourself, you'd be lunch.
Yeah, and Daddy, what if I stick my hand in there while he was alive?
Oh, you'd shut them jaws shut. You'd never get your arm out. Then you're Kronosaurus lunch. Alright, let's get into
Habitat.
As everyone knows, the Earth was a much different looking place millions of years ago than it is today. The Earth was totally different looking. They inhabited the Uramanga Sea, I hope I pronounced that right, which was a body of ocean which spread out through what is now Australia. So where Australia is today, that used to be all ocean.
That is huge and big.
Yeah, and remember how we said the first fossils of them were found in Australia. The first fossils of Kronosaurus were found in Australia.
Yeah.
Your hair tastes good? Surprisingly, there's actually evidence to show that this ocean was very cold and even near freezing at times. Which that's an odd habitat for a cold-blooded reptile, right? And on that subject, they were still a air-breathing reptile. So although they lived in the ocean, they still needed to come on land or to the surface for air, because they still had to breathe. We've actually heard several different sources say that some believe Kronosaurus would have given live birth, and some sources say that they laid eggs. And scientists believe...
How big were those eggs?
Oh, those eggs would have been huge. But scientists actually believe that if they did lay eggs, it would be much like how sea turtles do it. Like they go up on the beach, lay all their eggs in the sand, and then they hatch, come out, make their way to the ocean.
How can those things live out of the ocean and crawl to the ocean?
Well, it's kind of like marine turtles. Could you imagine coming up from the sand rather than little baby sea turtles, little baby Kronosauruses,
Yeah.
and crawling their little way to the ocean?
Yeah.
That look funny looking. I wouldn't even want to mess with the babies. They're probably like as big as a cat.
So would the egg be as big as the door?
I don't know about that, but it'd be a big egg. Big egg. Even though I bet the baby still would have been cute. Baby Kronosauruses.
Would they be like that?
Well, they'd be big, just mini versions of this thing.
Like that?
Probably. Alright, and let's finish
Diet.
up with
Diet. I said it 2 times. Diet.
You did. What did this giant sea monster eat?
Really big sharks.
Ooh, good guess. To no one's surprise, Kronosaurus was carnivorous. I mean, you don't have teeth like that and just be eating seaweed. You got teeth like that because you're chomping into meat. They would have been opportunists. Whenever something crossed their path, they would try to eat it. And when you're that big, you got a pretty open buffet. Pretty much eating anything they crossed paths with.
Yeah.
Anything that was unfortunate enough to cross paths with.
Probably like, he would probably be eating like things like as big as that couch.
As big as like me.
As big as that couch, as big as you,
Yep.
and as big as the house.
Contents fossilized in their stomach included turtles, prehistoric sharks, giant squid, and elastomerids? I hope I pronounced that right. Which, if you remember our video on Archelon, the giant sea turtle, remember when we did them?
Yeah, he was huge.
He was huge, and they were around the same time Kronosaurus was.
So
they would have crossed paths.
did
Poor Archelon.
they see Patrick in his belly and Squidward and
From SpongeBob?
yeah, and Mr. Krabs?
I think he was eating bigger stuff than them. Also found in their stomach were stones. They would eat stones and rocks. And this was to help out with buoyancy, to stay neutral buoyant, where they could just glide through the ocean without sinking too deep or rising to the surface. Alright guys, and that does it for Kronosaurus. If you guys enjoyed or liked this video, make sure to give us a like.
And found it informative, give us a huge thumbs up and comment down below if you think that this video was awesome.
And consider subscribing for more of our reptile videos.
Yep. And guys, thank you so much for so many subscribers, for all of you.
Yes, you guys have been awesome.
Yep, thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Alright guys, and we will see you on Saturday.
Yeah.
Bye guys.